Alright, so, after waiting for so long, I finally got a hold of Godzilla Rulers of Earth Volume 6. This is the 6th and final volume of the, it's pretty much is the longest Godzilla running comic series in all of Godzilla's publication. I mean, seriously, I think the second longest was Marvel's publication of Godzilla, which only ran for 24. So this is, it beat him by one issue. I gotta say, look, I really love this. This is probably one of the best Godzilla comics ever. This was made by Godzilla fans, for Godzilla fans. But I feel like they got screwed. I feel like Matt Frank, Chris Mowry, and Jeff Zornell, they all got screwed hard. Because the problem is that this comic ends, it tries to wrap up everything way too damn fast. They only had 5 issues. And the 25th issue is double stuffed. But I understand that IDW told them no, they couldn't do anymore, and there was apparently more they wanted to do with this comic book. And you start to see it in Volume 5, but in Volume 6, man, they just throw everything they have, just guns blazing on that one. Is it still good? Yes. But is it cramped? Oh god, yes. You can clearly see they wanted to do so much more with this comic. But yeah, so let's talk about the story. The story is that the Cryogs have unleashed the Trilopods. These huge, they're pretty much a giant crab version of the Borg. They can assimilate monsters and powers and become like them. And they've laid siege to Monster Island, and they've captured a majority of the monsters. And I actually like some of the Trilopod versions of the monsters. There are actually some really kick-ass designs in the monsters. There's even some cool tag team between Gyra and Sonda, where they're probably the last 2 monsters left, and they're just fighting all the other Trilopod kaiju. They're just throwing down with all of them. Meanwhile, the Shobojin are being chased by the twins who have Batra, and they also decide, hey, Godzilla needs our help. The only person who can help him is King Caesar. And King Caesar shows up, he's badass, and it's really cool to see all the monsters just come together like the Avengers. I mean, you pretty much see everybody, like even Kamibus shows up. Too bad no Maguma, though. sorry, Maguma fans. We do get a quick backstory, like it is super quick, about why Minette and Mallory, the evil twins, hate the Shobojin, and it's like, really, that's it? I understand, yeah, they want to do more with this comic, but it's revealed that Minette and Mallory lost their mother during a battle between Kamacuras and Mothra, and they're just angry at them, and it's a stupid reason, too, because they were hiding from her mother. Also, that scene reminded me way too much of The Lost World. If you read it, there's also some great references in here. Like, there's a great reference to Orochi. There's you don't see the monster, but you see the poster for the movie of that monster. If you don't know what Orochi was the other kaiju movie that Toho did during the Heisei series of Godzilla, along with the only other one called Gunhead. I think there was a reference to Gunhead in here as well. Could be wrong, but I'm pretty sure there was a reference to Gunhead in here. Anyway. So, we do get King Caesar in here, and that's the thing, like, monsters just show up and they're gone. Like Gorosaurus. Gorosaurus shows up, he takes down a few of the Trilopods, then he gets taken down, like in 2 pages. There's even a kick-ass alliance between Godzilla and Space Godzilla, which, again, lasts only 3 pages. You see what I mean? It's super cramped, and you can clearly see they wanted to do so much more with this. You even get why the Cryogs want to invade Earth, and why they don't explain how they got the hold of the Trilopods. I wanted to know if they grew them or something like that. I guess that was something else they wanted to explain in this comic as well, but they didn't get the time. But yeah, it revealed that the Cryogs, their planet was destroyed by Ghidorah. They were destroyed by King Ghidorah, and the problem is with that, it kind of goes back because, again, in the comic book universe it's based in, it's set in the whole, Kingdom of Monsters, and in Kingdom of Monsters, Ghidorah is he's an Earth Guardian whose soul is, it's weird as hell. They made him Mecha King Ghidorah in Volume 4 of Rulers of Earth, and he flew off, and they made a mention of King Ghidorah's species. So out there in this universe, there is an entire world of Ghidorahs, and apparently one of these Ghidorahs just wiped out, the Cryog homeworld. The Emperor fled, and the others rallied behind the main villain, who, until the Emperor showed up, Rhizon. Rhizon more or less, he hates the Emperor. It's very much like Starscream and Megatron between those two. But you understand why Rhizon really hates the Emperor, because the Emperor ditched when King Ghidorah just went ham on their planet. Rhizon, however, took a refugee ship and, you know, tried to save as many as he could, and the reason why he wants to take over the planet, it's not because, hey, I'm evil and I want to rule the planet. No, it's like, I got all these refugees here, I got all these people here, I need to take this planet because my species is dying. So you can kind of understand Rhizon's motivation, and then the Emperor just ruined everything with the Trilopods. Which, again, if they had these things before, why didn't they just use the Trilopods to overwhelm Ghidorah? I don't know. Again, that's something I wish they had a chance to explain. And you can, again, that is the biggest flaw with this comic, is that it never gets the chance to really breathe, and everything gets thrown in at the last second. I mean, the giant kaiju battle is not very long, especially between the queen of the Trilopods, Magita, who is this fuck-huge monster. Like, Godzilla's dwarfed by this thing. All the kaiju just rally, all the villain kaiju. That's really cool, when Godzilla's just overwhelmed by all of the Trilopods, and he's just completely exhausted. He's been fighting Trilopods, he's been fighting Ebra, Megaguirus. He's just worn out at this point, and Godzilla just roars so loud, he actually rallies all of the other kaiju behind him, and they just go apeshit on the Trilopod kaiju. And boy, do they do it. Even Zilla shows up, and he's actually useful. He actually rescues Jet Jaguar. And there's even a moment between Zilla and Godzilla where Godzilla gives him this look of, you're good. So I guess Zilla's cool now. And remember, so I actually kind of dug Zilla in this comic book series, because they actually like Matt Frank and Chris Mallory understood that, hey, we know this kaiju sucks, but we can make him cool. And plus, I think they're taking more off of the Zilla from the Godzilla 90s animated cartoon, which that's probably a good idea. That's a cool version of Zilla anyway. So they use Zilla in here. He's actually kind of kick-ass. Again, they clearly wanted to do more, because Zilla was the only kaiju aside from Godzilla who wasn't... Well, actually, Godzilla got his DNA assimilated, but Zilla was the only non-captured kaiju. And, yeah... They clearly wanted to do more. I know I keep using that over and over again, but it's clear as day. Unfortunately, it is very clear when you see this, when you read this comic book. Is it still good? Oh hell yeah! There's still great fights in here. There's an epic battle between Jet Jaguar and Gigan. There's a great battle between, like I said, one of the best scenes in here is Godzilla rallying all the other kaiju, both heroes and villains, hero and villain kaiju, together to march out on the Trilopods, and it's an all-out monster war battle. There's even a great scene where Godzilla teams up with Kiryu and Mogira. There are just so many great scenes in here. I just wish this got, like, maybe... I feel like it should have gone on for another 5 issues. If this got at least 30 issues and we got a 7th volume, I feel like Matt Frank and Chris Mallory would have had a chance to really tell the story they wanted to tell. Is this still good? Yes. Should you pick it up if you're a Godzilla fan? Absolutely. The problem is, again, it's rushed, but I can't blame the creative team. They were constrained because IDW literally said, hey, we're cutting you off. No one really cares about this. Apparently, the sales aren't doing so well for this comic book, so we got to cut you off. And that's the problem. So they literally... You clearly see they want to do more. I'm pretty sure they would have brought in... You know, they would have done more with Kamebis. They would have done more with Gorosaurus, King Caesar, even Megalon. There were so many other kaiju we didn't get to see, and other kaiju battles they clearly wanted to do. All in all, this has probably been the best Godzilla comic, hands down, ever. It ends very quickly, but it kind of ends satisfying. It's kind of a satisfying ending. It almost ends like most Godzilla films. Like, it actually feels very much like the ending of Final Wars, if that makes sense. It kind of ends like the ending of Final Wars. But yeah, this is a really good comic. Hands down, again, this was made by Godzilla fans for Godzilla fans. I highly recommend, if you're a Godzilla fan in general, go pick up all 6 volumes of Rulers of Earth. Yeah. But anyway, guys, this has been a fun ride to read all of 6 volumes of Godzilla Rulers of Earth. Matt, Frank, Chris Mallory, if you're watching this, which I don't know if you are or not, thank you so much for this comic book series. This was spectacular. I know it wasn't your fault for, the constraint and, again, the rushed ending, but you gotta do what you gotta do. I understand that. So, yeah, but hats off to you both, and thank you, Chris Mallory, Matt Frank, and Jeff Zornell, for giving us pretty much probably the best Godzilla comic since ever. Anyway, once again, hope you all enjoyed this review, and I will see you guys later.